Hello everyone, and in this video I will be explaining what a major and a minor scale is. So what makes a major scale? For this example, we will be using the scale C major. If you're trying to find this on your own piano, find the note C, find another C, and play all of the white notes in between. So what makes this scale a major scale? Let's take a look at the interval between each notes. You'll notice that all the intervals aren't exactly the same. For example, between the notes C and D, there is a black note in between. Same goes for other intervals like F and G or A and B. If you look at the intervals E and F or B and C, you'll notice that there is not a black note in between. So when there happens to be a note in between an interval, such as C and D, we call that a whole step. When there isn't a black note in between, we call that a half step. So C to D would be a whole step, and E to F would be a half step. If you take a look at this pattern of whole and half steps, you get the formula whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half. So all major scales will have this pattern of whole and half steps. Let's use this formula to derive another scale. Let's build a major scale starting on the note G. So we have our formula handy. We start with G, we move a whole step up, you get A. We move a whole step up, we get B. We move a half step and get C. Then we move a whole step and get D. Then we move another whole step and get E. Now this time, we have to move a whole step from E. Moving to F natural will only be a half step. So in order to move a whole step, we move up to F sharp. This does count as a whole step because there is one note in between E and F sharp, and that's F natural. Starting on F sharp, we move another half step, and we can finish on the note G. So what does this mean? Every time you play something in G major, there will be an F sharp in the key signature. And it'll look something like this. And this doesn't just apply to the note G. This applies to all of the other notes on the piano. If you want to play a major scale starting on any other note, the key signature will be adjusted. For example, if you're playing in the key of D major, as you can see here in the diagram, there will be an F sharp as well as a C sharp. Or if you wanted to play something in F major, there will be a B flat in the key signature. Now what makes a minor scale? Well, if you're trying to find a minor scale on your piano, try to find the note A, find another note A one octave above, and play all of the white notes in between. So let's take a look at the intervals between these notes. As you can see, it's a little different from the intervals on a major scale. The formula this time is whole, half, whole, whole, half, whole, whole. Let's use this formula to build another scale. We will be starting on the note D this time. Starting on the note D, we move a whole step up, so it takes us to E, then a half step to F, a whole step to G, a whole step to A. Now, we're supposed to move only a half step. Moving to B natural would be a whole step because there's a note in between. So what do? We move up to B flat. Since there isn't a note in between A and B flat, this does count as a half step. Now, from B flat, we have to move a whole step away. So that takes us to C. There is a note in between B flat and C, so this does count as a whole step. And then from C, we finish by moving a whole step up to D. So what does this mean? every time you play something in D minor, there will be a B flat in the key signature. And just like the major keys, the same rule applies to the minor keys. If you want to play a minor scale starting on any other note, the key signature will be adjusted accordingly. For example, in E minor, there will be one sharp in the key signature, and in other keys such as C minor, there will be 3 flats. Now there's another type of scale, and it's called the harmonic minor scale. And it's very similar to a minor scale, but there's one difference. The 7th note has been raised 1/2 step. So normally in the A major scale, you would see a G natural, but this time there's a G sharp. This also changes the formula up a bit. The formula for a harmonic minor scale is whole step, half step, whole step, whole step, half step, and then a whole step plus a half step from F to G sharp, and then finally a half step to go back down to A. Keep in mind, the 7th note, which has been raised, is not part of the key signature. This note will simply appear as an accidental in your music. Now let's try to build a harmonic minor scale starting on the note D. So we have the formula ready. We start with D, so we move a whole step up to E, a half step up to F, a whole step up to G, a whole step up to A, half step up to B flat. Now we move the whole step plus a half step. So to find the note, just move a whole step and then move another half step, and you end up with C sharp. And then you move a half step down and finally end on the note D. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe if you found this video helpful, and check out my other videos.